So what initially got you into fitness, or at what age did you get into fitness, and when did you really start to take this, I guess, more seriously?
So if you look way back, probably when I was 14, 15 was when I decided to sort of start training because I was training for sports, right? And I was always a little kid. Like I was, even now, like I'm not, you'll see my frame's not the biggest sort of frame, if that makes sense. I've always been sort of small. I
Mm.
struggle to put on weight, struggle to put on muscle. And I played rugby in school, and they basically you need to put on size to play rugby. You need to be a bit heavier, you need to be stronger. So I started training in like when I was 14 in the gym with the rugby boys, in the rugby team. And I actually hated it. I really hated it. Just because everyone was bigger than me, the coaches were mean and so forth. And then I decided to start sort of doing it myself and just YouTubing. And I was watching like all the fitness influencers back then, like Simeon Panda,
Mm.
Callan von Moger, all those guys. And I was like, I'm going to do this myself. So I started going with my dad to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning. And I would just train myself. My dad would do his spin class, the cycling, and I would like gym and try. And then I just started seeing like really good progress. I felt good, starting getting stronger, starting to put on some muscle. And then I started to really love it. And it took me about a year when I was like 15, 16. And then I started like performing in that actual rugby gym with all the teams, with the team and everything. And I was actually pushing a lot more weight, even though I was still light, than the bigger boys were. So I was like, this is really cool. I'm going to keep going. And it just sort of that feeling that I have control over
Yeah.
like my success. It was just me going to the gym on my own, training. It's not about whether they pick me or not, or it's
Yeah.
this sport. If I score a goal or I score a try, it was just I can control what I can. I can get stronger. I can put on muscle, and that sort of hooked me. So then I started really training hard and writing my own programs, that sort of thing. And then obviously, uh, um, down the line, you came in the whole diet came in, and at that point, I was like, okay, I need to eat more protein. So I ate my mom out of the house basically with all the food I was begging her to buy
So
me.
sorry, how old were you at
Um,
the time? You started at 15, 16, and then the diet, when did that start to happen?
16, I would say. Started training 14, 15, and at like 15, 16, I'm like, okay, I need to tie the two together because I'm training in the gym, but like I can't pick up more weight. I'm struggling. And at this point, I've been going to school for about 7 hours a day. I was obviously training in the mornings, but I also had like sports training after school and extra sports training and then still homework. So you can imagine how much calories I'm burning just by existing. So obviously I couldn't pick up weight. I was making small strength gains at this point when I was 16, but it started to plateau. So I was like, okay, I need to get on top of the diet thing because I was watching, like I said, I was watching all these guys on YouTube and you need to eat this much protein. And at that point, you're just like, I need protein, protein, protein. Nothing else really matters because you're just like, I need protein. So you're like, cool. Started eating more protein, really I used to step on the scale like every night and try and see if I picked up weight. I think I went from when I was 16 to 17, I went from like being 65 kgs to being 75 kgs. And then like at a point being 80 kgs. And I wasn't actually fat just because I was doing so much sports. So it was obviously definitely some fat gain because I was always very like lean and skinny as a kid, but a lot of muscle and strength. And it did actually help me perform at a very high level in sports. Like if I hadn't gone to gym, I would never have been able to play such high level sports. But anyways, that's where it all started. As soon as I stopped playing high level sports, I sort of started craving this like competitiveness about me. Like because I needed this sort of thing in my life that gave me that competitive feel. And for me, it used to be sports, but obviously when I started doing a degree, it wasn't time for like really playing professional sports anymore. So I sort of just got really, really into the gym. And while I was doing my degree in business, I actually did a lot of a lot of qualifications in nutrition, sports specific nutrition, and personal training, as well just during COVID because I was just bored. COVID, all school was online and it was like recorded. I would get it done very quickly and I'd be like, okay, I'm bored now. So then I would just sort of start training and eating and doing the extra sort of qualifications I wanted to do with like that aligned with my actual interests. That's when it really sort of took a proper turn at like 17, 18, when I was really like, okay, we're diving into this now for real. I
Were you still
can.
playing rugby at the time, or were you full on bodybuilding now?
So this was during the COVID period. Obviously, all sports was off because it was like we had a lockdown at our side, so I wasn't playing. So the gym was like my pure place of like fitness and competitiveness with myself. But then as I like got my qualifications, got really into it after COVID sort of ended and things sort of were coming back to normal, I decided I'm gonna just start a bodybuilding prep because all the guys that I watch on YouTube are doing bodybuilding. I'm gonna try it. So I did my first bodybuilding prep, stepped on stage in men's physique. I think I was 20 years old, got really lean, was really skinny. I think if you looked at me, you'd be like, this guy has issues. Like he's maybe too skinny, you know what I mean? Like I had the principles right. Like I lost the weight, I kept a good amount of muscle, but like only so much you can keep for being that young and only, training properly sort of in bodybuilding for like a year or two, with sports training being before. Then after that, it really just I stepped on stage and it just ignited this sort of fire inside of me. It was like, it's almost like you probably know yourself. It's sort of like it either bites you, the bug bites, or it doesn't, but the bug bit. Like
Yeah,
it
sorry,
really
can
did.
I don't mean to cut you off. This is so amazing, but everything you just told me, I can 100% resonate with that. You come from a sporting background, you started playing rugby, you wanted to get into better shape for that, and then you kind of realized the whole bodybuilding thing where it's actually within your control. Like you don't have to rely on your coach to play you. It's like I put in the work in a gym and I get the results, right? And I
Exactly.
also went to university. I got a scholarship to play soccer, and I don't really talk about this much, but I wasn't really playing much. And then I kind of reverted to the gym where I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm in full control over. The coach cannot bench me. It's like it's all on me. And then when COVID hit as well, I like full on did the whole bodybuilding thing. And then I also actually competed when I was like, I think 20 years old as well, men's physique. I was super skinny. So it's actually really crazy how we both have kind of like similar background stories.
This sort of coincidence that we sort of followed each other a while back and sort of just randomly kept in contact and somehow
It's
ended up
been like since
working together.
2019 or
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's been a long time, and I vividly remember you just blowing up one day in terms of like your physique. I'm like this guy's crazy.
I don't think it's a coincidence that it was sort of like that we ended up working together like that and have a similar background. I think it matches pretty well. So I think it's very cool for me.
No, it's incredible. I didn't even know that about you, but no, that's really cool.
I should actually tell the story more, to be honest. Maybe I should make like a little bit of a story time on my Instagram or something.
Yeah, and so you mentioned that the bodybuilding kind of bug bit you, and then after your men's physique show, where did you kind of go from there?
So then I was like, cool. I'm realized I was a lot smaller than I thought I was in terms of being like shredded. Because obviously, you think, when you have all the carbs and you have a bit more body fat, you're like, yo, I'm big. But then you realize, okay, I need more tissue, I need more muscle. So then I was like, okay, let's go into this and actually do like a proper bulking phase and let's try to put on some muscle and actually focus on the gym. I was still studying at this point, doing my degree. That's when I decided this is really a passion of mine. I have the qualifications ready. I'm going to start doing personal training and studying and obviously training myself because I have the time. So then I sort of started my business with the gyms. I didn't own a gym yet. I worked for someone else, basically bodybuilding, studying, and running, well, not running a gym, but training clients in the gym. Built up a good client base. While I was still at that gym working for someone else, I competed again and this time in classic physique because I was like, I've got good legs. I like the classic physique look. I'm going to give that a go. And I did really well. I think I put on 8 kgs of lean tissue within a year, 2 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
Which was, yeah, I mean, I think it had to do with me also still being young and growing. Like I was still like growing up. But also just being super more, like much more dedicated to it after the first show. Like I was really into the whole, off season as well and all that. And I obviously understood things better. Um, yeah, and then basically from there, the bug still bit. I took another 2 years sort of off because I wanted to focus on business. And this is when I decided to open up my own gym, start my own brand. And then I took the client base that I built over time working in another gym and just sort of started my own thing. And that's sort of where that started. But again, I was still training really hard. Training is non-essential or is an essential
Yeah.
in my life. So no matter how busy it gets, I always will find time to train because it doesn't just help me physically and keep me healthy and fit and whatnot. It helps me mentally and just
Mm.
get out of my head into my body and just sort of switch off from the stress and anxiety and stuff that like business and studying brings. 2 years down the line, I'm now 23. I just competed.
This was your second show, right?
This was now my third show.
Oh, okay. Okay. The recent one you just did was your third one.
No, my fourth. So
Oh,
I
okay.
did a show 16 weeks ago and 7 weeks ago. So that would be my fourth and fifth show that I've done. So yeah, so 23 competed again twice. I competed and then I continued prep for another 6 weeks and then stepped on stage again on a pro qualifier. I came top two in the regional and then I came sixth in the pro qualifier, which was obviously disappointing, but you need to be realistic with yourself. Do I have a pro physique yet? I don't think so. So I don't want to get the pro card if I don't think I have a pro physique necessarily. So the head judge came back with feedback and said that I need to just have a lot more muscle, like
Mm,
especially in my body. I need to be a lot bigger. And this is hectic because since the show that I did in 2021, I was 6 kgs, I think, up in weight with even better conditioning, I think, this time around. So yeah, I mean, it's just, bodybuilding is like a super slow progression, but it teaches you like delayed gratification and,
sure.
you know, really just working hard consistently for a long period of time. But yeah, I'm under my weight cap by 7 kgs. So I have 7 kgs technically to fill out with muscle, which is a ton. But yeah, and that's basically been my whole fitness journey. I still do play a bit of sports in a friendly sense. We'll go play like some friendly rugby, where like touch rugby, like non-contact. Just go run around the field. I love going on hikes. The gym is not my only source of fitness. I love to go play. I don't know if you paddle. I don't know if you guys have paddle over that
Pedal,
side.
yeah.
Play paddle with mates. Go on hikes with mates. Just be outdoors. That's also what I really enjoy because sometimes being in the gym is a little bit like I want to exercise outside. Like I want to get outside.
Hmm.
Um, but 90% of the time, my exercise does happen in the gym still, and I do still have a goal of sort of improving now, in being a non-prep phase, just putting on some more muscle, improving, because yeah, having physical goals is something of a must for me always, and it just also keeps me mentally sane. But yeah, that's basically my journey, and now I want to sort of pass over my knowledge and frustrations and struggles over all the years that it took me to figure things out, and after learning it and actually experiencing it with clients, that I know what to do now. I have experience, and I have a much deeper knowledge than I had before, and I can actually help people achieve things a lot quicker than I did, not only physically, but also from a mental standpoint and how you should approach things mentally so that you're making it part of your lifestyle and not just like the super hardcore diet. And, because anyone can lose X amount of pounds, but they're not going to, you could feel like crap. And just after that, you're going to rebound straight back up.
Yeah.
If you can introduce into lifestyle and make it more of a thing that you're now, this is the new you, this is what you do, you're
Yes.
going to see so much more great results. And like we said, it is a time game. The more you do this, the more consistent you are for the long period of time, the better the results will be. So me having gone through that as well and being someone that works many hours a day, running my own business, with the gyms, training clients online with Barbarian Physique, and still being able to train and compete. I think it's just I'm in a good spot to be able to help others understand like what it takes mentally and how mentally strong you can be.
Yeah. And I think your entire story, I think is just super motivating. And more on a personal notes, like what personal goals do you have lined up for yourself? I know you mentioned the whole competing thing. Like, do you see yourself becoming a pro, stepping on the Olympia stage? Like, what kind of goals do you have set for yourself when it comes to that?
I would have told you about a year ago that I like to step on the Olympia stage. The problem is in South Africa, they only give out one pro card per year for classic physique.
Wow. Only one.
And now imagine the amount of athletes that are wanting to get that pro card. They all have to compete at the same show. So you're standing against the best of the best, to get your pro card, right? It is an expensive hobby. The
Yeah.
amount of food you eat, the amount of time you spend, it's a very expensive hobby. So I would like to say yes, and I would still like to say yes. That would be a great life, if I could get there. It's just looking at the amount of money it takes for something that's almost like a hobby for me, and
Mm.
also the accessibility of it in South Africa in terms of getting a pro card, being able to compete overseas, come to the States, compete in the pro league is quite difficult coming from South Africa. And on top of that, there's the sponsorships over here. It's crazy. Like as an influencer on this side or as someone that's an athlete, it's very minimal. Like I always tell all my friends, like if only I actually lived that side, maybe with the content I produce and the
Yeah.
sort of physique that I have built, I could attract a better sponsorship and attract more followers and stuff like that, which would help me sort of aid in my journey. But just unfortunately, South Africa is behind with these things. We're not as like super like changing the whole time on
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
trends as America. And realistically, it's something that I might probably not be able to do coming from here. Maybe I get the opportunity to move to the US and give it a bit of a whirl.
Yeah. Is
But
this something you consider doing? Obviously, to put the favors into or to stack on your favors to move to the US where potentially it could be a bit easier for you to accomplish that.
I mean, looking how things have started this year off, I think it's much more on the cards now which is great. And I would love to come and experience a country that also bodybuilding is probably the biggest in this country.
Yeah.
So just being able to train at the best gyms and see the best people, the best influencers, and just be around that environment is probably growing in itself. Like it'll help me grow in itself from every standpoint. But for now, I felt like my main priority, I'm still obviously, don't get me wrong, I'm training to compete again and to give my all if that time does come and if I do get opportunity to. But for now, I feel like I want to really put my knowledge and passion for this into others and really just help them on their journey at the end of the day. And I am really passionate. I'm almost as passionate about that as competing myself. Actually, maybe more, to be honest.
Wow.
At this point, I might be more passionate about helping others than actually stepping on stage.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I think your story, I can definitely tell just how passionate you are about not just kind of like the bodybuilding lifestyle, but like really turning this into like a habit, like you said, right? Because a lot of people fall into kind of like the quick fixes. They tend to see some quick results, but then because they didn't turn into the person who can maintain those results, they fall back to square one again, if not gain a bit more weight than they previously did, right? So I think what you mentioned there, I think is so important. And so for people who are listening, who are just kind of starting out on their fitness journey, obviously most people don't want to become like a pro bodybuilder or have aspirations of competing one day, right? But what would you say is some general advice that you could give to someone who's just starting out, who just wants to be a bit healthier, lose a bit of weight, gain a bit of muscle, and just feel a bit more confident about themselves? What would be like one piece of advice you could give them?
I should probably say this before we dive into it, but I train mostly like lifestyle
Hmm.
people, but it's a very niche, just because I look like this doesn't mean your goal needs to be to look like me, and it doesn't mean that um you know it's like I only train these high level guys. Like my whole point of me helping others is so that to help you achieve whatever goal you can achieve. So I think the best advice I would give anyone, and if I could break it down really into the least possible like words or advice possible, is just start, do your best, be consistent with it, find a coach that can help you, and then follow that plan the best you can and most consistently over a long period of time. And I guarantee if you just follow the plan, you tick the boxes, whether it be training, nutrition, all the other things that come along with the obviously what a coach tells you to do. You just tick the boxes and you be patient, you will achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, doing your best and consistency is the main thing. Like really, there is no perfect meal plan and there is no perfect training plan. What is perfect is the consistency of you or your consistency. If that's perfect, you'll achieve it. And yeah, there's no shortcuts. Don't fall for the secret diet hacks and the
Yeah.
secret pills and the secret training. Just do the basics right and do it right consistently, trying to get better every day, every week, every month, every year, just a little bit better. And I guarantee you that will exponentially build up. And that's really all it takes. It's very simple, actually.
Unfortunately, no sexy answer there, no secret juice cleanse or fasting or whatever, just doing the basics over a consistent period of time, right? And yeah, I think a lot of beginners are looking for like the shortcuts or whatever method. But at the end of the day, it's like you've been at this since you were 15, 16, right? And you're still going now and you're still looking to improve. And I kind of got to show you that this isn't a quick fix and you really have to like turn this into a lifestyle if you want some serious and long lasting results, right? And so as someone goes about their fitness journey, obviously you've probably experienced this too, where they kind of go through high motivation stages and then low motivation stages, right? And so what would you kind of recommend people to either stay motivated or stay a bit more disciplined when it comes to their fitness journey and actually keeping those long-term goals top of mind?
First of all, get a coach, someone to keep you accountable. Even I have a coach. I am myself a coach and I have a coach, so get a coach. Just because I think I know a lot, a coach is just there as well to keep you accountable too, make sure that you
I love
do
that.
what you do. Secondly, set yourself smaller targets that you aim towards, because sometimes this huge target, I always call it frogs. Like, what is there's a huge frog waiting for you. You need to eat that frog. What's easier to do? Eat small frogs up to that point or try get to the big frog first? It's probably going to be break it up and eat the small frogs because you can digest it easier over time. I don't always use that analogy. It's just sort of something I just say. Break it up and hold yourself accountable. Like, what do I want to achieve? What do I believe in myself? And then set yourself the goal. And then all you need to do is make sure that you can meet your values and level that you have set for yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, then there's a whole nother story when you talk about. So I'd say set yourself the goal. Even when you don't feel like it, just go, because I guarantee you afterwards you're gonna feel great. Sometimes just getting there is the hard part. Hold yourself accountable to yourself and believe in yourself. But also, I can attest this. The last 6 weeks of my prep, I didn't want to go to the gym once. So maybe like once, but once in 6 weeks, and I was training 6 times a week. But you go anyways because you set yourself a goal. You promise yourself you're going to do it. And at the end of the day, you're going to be super chuffed with yourself. Even just short term after the workout, you're like, I accomplished something. I didn't want to go. I did it. Not only did I improve myself a little bit physically that day, but I improved myself mentally because it took some mental toughness to go there. So then it's like sending all endorphins, dopamine responses through you because you achieved something. So even if you didn't feel like going initially, but you went, you already achieved something just by getting there. So motivation, everyone should know, motivation does not continue forever. At the end of the day, it's about where it sits on your priority list and how disciplined you can be with it and just commit to a priority list. Because I guarantee if you really, really, really want to achieve the goal and you're really serious about doing it, you will go. No matter how you feel, you will go. Really want to do it. And even when you don't want to, you know that you set yourself the goal and you're just going to do it anyways.
Two things that really stood out to me is obviously the first thing you mentioned, actually having a coach yourself, despite you and I both being coaches. I personally have a coach as well. And I think it's so important, despite being an expert at this, having your own certifications, qualifications. I really think just having that added accountability of not just self-accountability, but having that external accountability, like, oh crap, someone's actually looking over my program. They're actually asking me how I'm doing. They're checking up on me. It's like, that's a big deal, right? Despite knowing what to do, I think that's a big, big thing, which a lot of people tend to neglect. And then secondly, as well, kind of like getting this big frog and turning it into smaller bite-sized frogs that seem a lot more manageable to eat and consume. And then it kind of creates a momentum effect as well, right? Because it's like, oh, I've already eaten this small frog. I can eat this other small frog now as well. And then there's another one. And it's like you're climbing up this ladder. And before you know it, you've eaten this massive frog by eating those smaller ones, right? So I think that's super, super magical. So what is your favorite cheat meal?
So in South Africa, we call it, in America, it's called a barbecue. We call it a braai, so Braai.
Okay.
So we'll have braai and we use wood. We'll make fire with the wood and we'll braai it on a grid or a grid basically.
Okay.
So we making a braai with some good steak or good chicken kebabs or something like that. Probably one of my favorite. But alongside that, it's very important that you need to add this in.
That
We
doesn't
call
even
it.
sound like a cheat meal to me. That sounds way too healthy.
Yeah, the thing is, when you eat good food and you know how it makes you feel, you crave good food. Like I guess you would call it like braai toast if you had to translate it, but we call it or barbecue toast. I guess we
Yep.
call it braai broodjies. So it's basically just I just directly translated like barbecue toast. But what you do is you put like I'll get sourdough. I'll put in cheese, onion, tomato, mayo, and then the sauce called chutney. It's a South
Chutney.
African sauce. So
Yeah.
like put that together, and then you put that on the braai or on the barbecue. Then you've got yourself a braai broodjie, and that is one of the best things ever. And I'll have like 3 of them because they're just toasted to perfection. But pizza, sushi, I love that too.
More of a Nomra
Yeah.
answer there. But next time I come to South Africa, definitely gotta try that barbecue out. It sounds really good. Are you more of a savory or a sweet type of person?
Savory, definitely, but I love myself some white chocolate.
White chocolate. Interesting. Okay. Do you listen to music when you work out? If so, what's your go-to workout music?
I do. I love myself some techno. That's probably my go-to. But some good like sort of hardcore metal on leg days also does the job.
Yeah, metal and leg days go hand in hand. I agree. In terms of the gym, do you have like a favorite piece of gym equipment? Are you more like old school barbells, dumbbells, or do you like more of the machines? What's your preference there?
I'm a bit all-rounded. I like to use them all. But when I was starting out, it was mainly just barbell, dumbbells, free weights, heavy old school training, which is still probably my first love. But at the moment, I like to use everything.
What is one message that you would like every person, specifically our clients as well, to walk away with, whether it's with the way they approach their fitness goals, anything we discussed? What is one thing that you really want to make sure that they walk away with?
Make sure you are doing your best in every area in your life, whether it be from a learning point of view, from mentally being strong, from relationships to physically being, fit and healthy. So if I had to sum it up from an exercise point of view or fitness point of view, no matter what, I think you need to include fitness into your life, but you need to also find the one that you find fun, because that's what you're going to be most consistent with. Find fitness that you you find fun, include in your life. It might or not always be fun, but that doesn't matter. That's when the discipline comes in. And then include it in part of your lifestyle. Because if you include it into your lifestyle, and make a priority there, you'll be making gains and enjoying life and being fit and healthy for many years to come, decades to come, versus just quick fixes. So find something that you find fun and enjoy, involve that, and please just do train at the end of the day, because it's not just going to help you look good, it's going to make you feel good in every aspect of life and help you in every aspect, from the workplace, from relationships to mentally, it's all going to help. So I'll just say, to sum it up, try get fit by doing something you like and include it in your lifestyle, and health as well. So look after your body. It's the most important asset you probably have.
I love that. Find fitness that you find fun. I don't know how many I've thrown there, 4 or 5, but I think that's a great way to end it, because ultimately, if you enjoy what you're doing, the chance of you being consistent and sticking with it are going to be a lot more likely than following something that you hate, you don't enjoy, don't look forward to, and you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure. Matthew, this was absolutely amazing. I love your mindset, and I love just the way you view this, and I'm sure that everyone else listening to this is also going to really appreciate this as well. So before I let you go, when it comes to your social media, where do you spend the most time? Where can people follow you along your journey and all that stuff?
TikTok and Instagram. I'm probably on Instagram more, MJ Elite, and then TikTok is the same. So yeah, pop me a message, say what's up, and I do post. I'm doing a challenge this year with filming every single workout for the year. So if you want to get some inspo, then you can just follow along, because I'm just leading by example. Just watch me keep training.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave all of that in the description below. But yeah, this was an absolute blast, Matthew.